Hello, my name is Priscilla Brown. I'm a graduate student here at Grand Canyon University. This is my professional video on the disposition of learners. The first question asks, what is the special education teacher's role in supporting learning, improving, planning, and practice, upholding professional expectation and ethics, and collaboratively advancing the profession? In my opinion, a special education teacher's role is to make sure that our special education students meet their IEP goals. And once those goals are met, these goals, newer goals are established, helping them push forward in their learning. Another portion of this question, when it comes to planning the lessons for these students, it has to be on their level. And we have to make sure that these students are not only grasping the lesson, but they are able to execute the answer as well. When it comes to collaboration, special education teacher's role is not only you're supposed to collaborate with your general education peers. You're supposed to collaborate with parents, because within the IEP there are parental concerns and something that a parent may want their child to advance in as well. So not only are you collaborating with your gen ed peer, you're collaborating with the parents, you're also collaborating with the students to make sure that they're meeting their goals, or at least meeting you halfway so you can help them push through. You're also collaborating with your paraprofessionals and to make sure that these students' needs are being met within the classroom. Advancing the profession, I believe that an advancement that comes with professional development, if it comes to taking training when it comes to PASA, or taking training to learning the ins and out of an IEP, or to better use IEPs, or better to track progress monitoring. That's something that I believe has to do with the advancement of the role. As long as you're staying up to date and you're meeting the needs of these children, that's, I believe, what the role is, holding the expectations of advancing the profession. As far as professional expectation, ethics, you have to have a professional level between the parent and between your gen ed peer and between your paraprofessionals, and also between the student. So you have to maintain a professional, not only on the outside, but within. You have to understand the type of verbiage and the language that you're using with these particular individuals that you encounter in your role. And that's question 1. Question 2 asks, what dispositions that you currently possess will help you become a successful teacher? What dispositions do you need to work on before you enter the classroom as a first-year teacher? The dispositions that I currently possess, in my opinion, I have high expectation. I respect for the diversity of others, fairness, honesty, dedication, and compassion. In my own classroom, I hold my students accountable at the highest level. I'm always ready for them to push beyond what they attempted to push before they had me. Anywhere from their reading levels. Their reading level, for instance, may be an F&P level J, and I may push them to read a book that's on an F&P level L or M. I'm just using an example. As far as with honesty, I'm very honest with my students because I would want them to be honest with me. And also, I know that they may need to learn on a certain level that their gen ed peers don't learn on, or are not they're not maybe able to comprehend, and I would have to break that down and explain those things to them. Being compassionate. At the end of the day, they are humans. We're all human. And to show compassion means that you not only care about this student because you're human, but I would only want the best for them. And curiosity, being able to explore different things with my students. If they want to learn about something like space, how can we apply it to this lesson? Or something by means of life skills. They may have something they want to learn, how to bake cookies, or how to even make a small dish for breakfast. How can we do that? How can we find something that's just a little bit above what they might be able to comprehend, but still push them forward into attempting that? And let's learn it together. Maybe I don't know it. Let's learn it all together. The third question, what effect could personal bias have? Oh, oops, I'm sorry. What disposition do I need to work on before I enter a classroom? I think that the disposition that I may need to work on would most likely be professional conduct. Although I do love children, I sometimes forget these are not my children, they are my students. And even though my compassion is something that I do have, I tend to forget, okay, they're not your family. They are someone else's children. They're not your kids. So at least be a little bit easy on them. So, and not to goof around with them too much, but maintain that professional relationship with them. So, question 3, what effect could personal bias have on expectations that teachers have for their students? How could these biases affect their relationship with students and their family? Personal bias. I don't know exactly what any of my personal bias would be. I don't think I would have went into this profession. I don't, the demographic I work with, I've been in a lot of spaces where I was able to open, and I've worked with a lot of different individuals, so I really try not to hold any biases. However, maybe I I guess a personal bias in this question, I might maybe a little, even though I hold them at high expectation, I have to be realistic about my expectations. Going back to the example with the FMP reading levels, I wouldn't, if a student's on a level J, they're not going to reach a level Z in 3 weeks. So that might be a personal bias where a gen ed child may be able to reach that level in 3 months or a month and a half. That might be a personal bias that I have, pushing them beyond the limits that they're actually able to accomplish. So these personal bias, okay, the next question is, how could these biases affect their relationships with students and their families? This could affect the relationships with students and their families, for instance, putting that bias, like an unrealistic goal in the IEP. Okay, for instance, the student would be able to read at an FMP level Y, and then the baseline is that this student is currently reading at an FMP level L. And or by the end of the school year, the student would be able to read at this level. If that's the goal, and we're saying to the parent, oh, well, the child's able to meet this goal, when realistically we know that the child, by the progress reports, and the way we're monitoring the student, that the student's only reaching a certain level of percentages every so quarter, that it's unrealistic. That could be a bias, and it could affect the relationships, that it might come off as being dishonest. And those are the questions that I have, hopefully, in my first year of teaching. I hope to work on my dispositions that I do have. I hope to work on the dispositions that I am working towards. And I also hope that with each given moment, I am being a better special education teacher than I was the day before.